សមាជិកគណៈបក្សសង្គ្រោះជាតិប្រាជ្ញាប្រធានសាមគ្គីក្នុងនានាសង្គ្រោះបំរើការពារកម្ពុជាខ្មែរត្រឹមគ្រប់គ្នាទាមទារសិទ្ធិសេរីឯករាជ្យបូរណភាពអធិបតេយ្យខ្មែរប្រស្រីបដូរផ្ដាច់ថែរក្សាមិនឲ្យបរទេសឈ្លានពានមកត្រួតត្រាសម្បត្តិដូនតាធនធានជាតិខ្មែរស្រុកខ្មែរចំឡាចទឹកភ្នែកមានស្រានយុវជនបាំងរៀងខានចៅក្រមបំពេញចាប់គ្មានកំហុសលះបងក្រុមយ៉ាងញញឹមទូលកោងទូខ្សែដើម្បីខ្មែររុងវិងរាំងភៀមខ្ពស់ព្រួងស្នេហ៍ធម្មជាតិទឹកភ្នែកហូរច្រែកយំយែរាល់ថ្ងៃយុទ្ធធរក៏ឆ្ងាយចៅក្រមចងរាយខ្លាយសេកចៅមសៀតយកខ្មៅជាសបងក៏អង្គវិជ័យយុទ្ធតែធរក៏អស់មានន័យលបលន់ឆ្អែតផ្ទៃមិនខ្ចីជាតិបងតុលាការចាំងវិជ្ជាជីវៈអង្គសាមបាច់ចុញញាំងរុញខ្មែរឲ្យធ្លាក់ជ្រុងជ្រៅអនលងអង្គយុទ្ធទេធរសង្គមលិចលងរួងតែចៅក្រមអាយ៉ងរបបយងក្នុងតុលាការឆ្ពិនភ្នែកសន្តិភាពលបឡាខ្ញុំគេខ្លែងខ្លាយធ្វើតាមចៅវាយកងវាយថ្វាយស្ទុំសោកសងទាំងចែកចាប់ខ្មែរស្នេហ៍ជាតិក្លៀតម៉ែឪញាតចោតថាបងក៏ឧបភាទយុវជនស្នេហ៍ជាតិថែបាំងរៀងឋានជាបរិយាទាំងប្រមូលឬក៏បងផ្សេងៗគឺនឹងទៅបានមុខបន្តហើយនឹងការផ្សាយតទៅខ្លួនទឹកទីខ្លួនការទៅគឺជាទៅពីអីខ្ញុំប្រាប់លីឡើយហ្នឹងពីមុនដែរខ្ញុំក៏នៅបន្តនៅក្នុងនេះមានជាលុបហ្នឹងហើយក៏គេនិយាយដូចគ្នាដែរអូនគេនិយាយថាលុបគេថាពីទុកឲ្យជាប៉ុណ្្នឹងទៅតែយើងទៅបន្តចង់ឲ្យលុបអស់ហ្នឹងខ្ញុំក៏វិញតែគេថាអាចរក្សាសន្តិភាពលបឡាខ្ញុំគេខ្លែងខ្លាយធ្វើតាមចៅវាយកងវាយថ្វាយស្ទុំសោកសងទាំងចែកចាប់ខ្មែរស្នេហ៍ជាតិក្លៀតម៉ែឪញាតចោតថាបងក៏ឧបភាទយុវជនស្នេហ៍ជាតិថែបាំងរៀងឋាន
Good evening. Thank you and welcome to our show. Welcome to CNRP America live Facebook show. And this is Khmer Youth for Justice. This is actually today is Tuesday, July 20, 2021. If you enjoy the music, please help share and follow. Their Facebook is Campuchia Amata. It has all these great songs. So please share and follow. Like you've seen already, the song is regarding the environmental activist who is the regime continue to put them to jail because so afraid of them, and all they do is just come out and point out what's going on with the environment in Cambodia. So if you enjoy the song, please follow Campuchia Amata, and they also have Facebook. Please share and follow them. Also, please join me to support ending impunity for justice in Cambodia. Let me put up a number right now. We have 97,214 signatures. So this is a couple minutes ago. Right now, it's probably 97,300. Please help to support our petitions. Please help to join me and share. And the petition, we would like to take it to 100,000 signatures. So please help our effort. We are so many, probably a couple of days away from 100,000 signatures. We are planning to take your support to the UN and have an independent investigations on the what we call backstage killing in Cambodia. So before I continue, I would like to have a short clip regarding ending impunity for justice in Cambodia. Like I said, we have over 97,000 signatures. We are looking for 100,000. I hope that your support will push to 100,000 in a couple of days. Thank you.
Between 1975 and 1979, the green rice fields of Cambodia became the killing fields of Cambodia. Over 2 million lives were lost, including the lives of my own parents and many of my relatives. The Khmer Rouge wanted a society that is equal according to them. We still live and we are haunted with the legacy of the Khmer Rouge, which is the culture of impunity that continues to exist in Cambodia today. It is for this reason that we have started a campaign, worldwide campaign, a campaign to end impunity in Cambodia by seeking justice for cases, for the executions, for the killings that are organized, that are backed by the state. Among those cases of state-backed killings are the killings of Chivichir, a very famous trade union leader, Bisep Pilaka, a ballet dancer, of Kemlay, an independent analyst, of Chutvuti, a well-known environmentalist, of Venerable Sun Bunthun, who was advocating for the monks to have the right to vote, including workers who demanded fair wages. The campaign will also advocate for governments that are members of the United Nations to put pressure on the government of Cambodia to conduct independent investigations by using universal tools such as the UN Protocol for Independent Investigation. The campaign will also advocate for governments that believe and want to protect universal human rights to impose sanctions on the leaders of the government of Cambodia who are implicated in these state back extrajudicial killings. We ask you to be with us, to support us, to be part of a campaign to end the culture of impunity in Cambodia and to find justice for those who have been waiting for justice for their loved ones killed by the state. There cannot be real peace unless there is justice. There cannot be justice unless there is independent investigation. And then to take those cases to an independent justice system. Join us by signing on this petition. Thank you.
យើងរួមគ្នាបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពដើម្បីយុត្តិធម៌នៅកម្ពុជា
Thank you and welcome back. Please again help to support our petitions ending impunity for justice in Cambodia. We are looking to we are looking for to have your support. Please support and help continue to help share and encourage your friend, your family to sign the petitions. Like I said, we are so close to 100,000 signature. Currently, we have 97,200 plus signature already. We are so close. So please continue to help and share the petitions. Today is July 20, 2021. Our topic for today is G7 Build Back Better World, which also short for B3W. And also our second topic will be B3W versus China BRI, which stands for Build and Growth Initiative. So we will talk about what is the benefit for Cambodia, why we pay attention to that. I looking forward to that discussion with my guest today. I have two guests. My first guest, she's been here before. She is so kind. Dedicated her time and many more to many programs with CNRPA. Her name is Brittany Baker. She is the former ESL teacher at Peace Corps and a CNRPA supporter in Ohio. Let me bring her out. Brittany. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you again for having me back tonight.
Thank you for being here. How's Ohio?
Ohio is good. The weather has been hot and cold, but otherwise everything is okay here.
Okay, how's life? How have you been? Are you been busy? What have you been doing lately?
Yeah, very busy, of course, juggling school and work and community events and graduation parties and birthdays and things like that. But all is well. How are things in California?
It's good. We I can say we almost back to normal, but due to the spike in COVID, we are required by the LA County to wear masks inside. Mm-hmm. But everything out, it seems it's all the restaurant, all the store are open. It's just that we just need to still be cautious, be aware of our surroundings, so that way we enjoy the freedom, and at the same time we need to be careful with that freedom.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you, Brittany.
Welcome.
Okay, let me have my second guest. This is his first time. His name is Vannarin Puth. He is CNRPA and CNRPO member and treasury in Montreal, California. How are you?
Very good. Yeah.
How's the weather in Canada, in Montreal, Canada?
Yeah, in fact, first of all, I'm not the first time with CNRPA for giving the show. I join maybe once every 2 weeks, with CNRPA and also with Sun TV Cambodia, the program Sun TV that every week, So, but my English speaking is my first time with you. So yeah, in Montreal here, this year it's special, Sometime in the past when we have no more weather for even cold or hot or warm, at least for a long period, 1 week, but 1 week at least minimum, but now this year special, sometimes it's very cold, go to 10, 12 degrees Celsius. I don't know how much in degree Fahrenheit, but maybe 45, but we never rarely that we have low temperature in middle summer like that, but aside from the weather, it's okay. And in Canada here, COVID case, it go down a lot, and we have per day, we have right now about 150 people in the whole Canada, that we have 36 million people. And vaccination, we have surprise me. I believe maybe you also surprised. Even Canada, the rate of vaccination, in fact, the whole population, we have even more than United States. We reach like almost 59%. Okay, 59% of the population that have vaccine 2 doses. And it go pretty well, but still the border we still close. We start to open with United States only mid-August, because Canadian government is very, very carefully. It's not fast, just to make
Thank
sure
you,
it is
Lukpu.
good before open.
Thank you for being here today. And yes, you've been on other show, and this is your first time, so I appreciate that. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Let me put Brittany back. Hi, Brittany.
Hi.
Okay, a minute ago we saw, when we opened up the show, we have a music from Cambodia Amata regarding even though it's not in English, it is in Cambodian, and it is talking about environmentalists. The reason I play that, I want to bring attention that recently the regime have been cracked down on youth and environmental activists that engage in peaceful activism and protest. And as of today, let me see. Let me show the picture. They are currently still in jail. They are from Mother Nature. The regime arrests and prosecute activists in an apparent attempt to silence their voices and shut down their activism. Let me see. The United States government, in part because of the harassment of the environmental activists on June 17, they hold back over 10 million in funding for the Cambodian government, from the Cambodian government, regarding greening Prelong project. So the fund are being directed to civil society group working on environmental protections. And so it is a situations where in the United States, I'm not sure in Canada or not in the United States, if you are, nature lover and protect the environment and bring the attention to what is going on or harmful to the environment, which is affect climate change and all that, you would be getting, encouragement in the U.S. And how is in Canada, Lukpu? Does Canadian government put anybody in jail for protecting the environment?
Yeah, I believe, as you said, Canada even more, on human rights, or even for climate change, for environmentalists. So, especially with the liberal government led by Mr. Justin Trudeau, he concerned a lot about the climate change, about the forest cutting, and so they support a lot about the climate change. For sure, I believe even somebody throw the cake in front the face of Prime Minister in Canada, the guy cannot be jailed, So how and in Cambodia, like Mr. Hun Sen said, changeមួយវាយមួយចេញពីរវាយពីរ, it means when anybody go in the street, they will arrest. Especially, I tell you the last 3 youth that they arrest and they accused of treason, and plus more than that, they accused as a terrorist. I don't know what what the definition of the terrorist for Hun Sen regime, you know, accusing them as a terrorist. It really, some of them, they just 20 years old, I believe. So the future for them, it really sad, very sad. Yeah.
Thank you, Lukpu. Brittany, you have any input? You are so young. You must be going out there and, you know, protect the environment, telling people, you know, not to use plastic and stuff. That's go into the environment. How do you feel when you see all these environmental activists in Cambodia just being thrown in jail?
Right. It's disappointing because it's the opposite of what we tell our young people to do. We tell them to be brave and to have courage and to protect the environment for the future generations and to take an interest in the earth and things like that in our community. And then when they try to do that and they try to educate other people, they're thrown into jail. And I was reading an article earlier from RFA that said since the end of 2019, more than 80 environmental activists have been imprisoned. So in about a year's time, 80 people, and a good number of those people have been young. So when we send a message to our youth that if you are brave and you try to clean your community and educate and spread awareness, that you will be imprisoned, then I really am concerned about the future generations.
Thank you, Brittany. Yeah, that's the current event right now, and they are still in jail, have not been released yet, and it's continue. Anybody that come out and protect the environment, but I am, even though your number seem high, your number seem about in 2 years, right? Is it 1 year?
Yeah, since the end of 2019.
Yeah, so, but we still have the youth coming out, and protect the environment. So there's hope out there. And so that's why we want to bring to attention. We want the regime to release all the environmental activists and also the political prisoner that charged with, all of them probably charged with incitement. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Brittany. The other hot topic, daily topic in Cambodia right now is the COVID-19. Let me put up the number so that way we can see the number as of 6 hours ago. As of 6 hours ago, we have a total of 67,971 cases. Recover is 60,017 cases, and total death is 1,128 people. The reason I brought it up because the regime, if you are watching their Facebook, they are portraying a good image of the campaign that they are combating COVID-19. Just to put the number in perspective, the daily average of infections is 1,000 people, and the average daily death is 30 people. That's just an average. So according to the news, it said that Cambodia has the highest mortality rate in Southeast Asia compared to the number of cases. I just want to bring to attention that the regime has, let me see, the vaccination rate is 54% right now. So what it means is saying it's over half of the population have been vaccinated. At the same time, the rate of infections and the rate of death is not going down. And the vaccination is from the Chinese vaccine, which is called Sinovac, and also Sinopharm. Let me also bring to attention that while other Asian countries such as Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, and Malaysia, they have stopped giving their citizens the Chinese vaccine. So in addition, Thailand and Indonesia has given their citizens the third dose. And anyone that got Sinovac vaccine, they currently giving them the third dose. And that is usually that is non-Sinovac vaccine. So let me bring a picture, not a picture, just a daily reminder of how COVID affecting everybody, and this is the picture where the family of the death does not get his or her body, but instead getting ashes after cremations. The government is buying casket. The government is also building casket in Cambodia. But at the same time, the regime is campaigning and how with a good image on how they are combating COVID-19. How do you feel about that, Lukpu? How do you feel about the COVID rate infections in Cambodia?
Yeah, I believe, like you said, the vaccination 2 dose. In fact, it's not just 1 dose. 2 dose vaccination in Cambodia is the highest rate in Southeast Asia. You know, we talk about 59, 58%. So about the same thing like Canada or United States or among of the OECD or OECD country. You know, it really very. In fact, is surprised because why small country in Southeast Asia receive so many doses from China. Yeah, you know, I believe everybody now, also all the people that listen to the show that know that the Cambodia, the leader, Prime Minister Hun Sen, his best friend with China, you know, and also don't forget that more than 2 million people die in the Khmer regime is caused by China. Also, China tried to apply the most severe, the most difficult communist regime in Cambodia try to do that. You know why 2 million people. So everything and Hun Sen still take the vaccine from China and everything like you said from Sinovac and Sinopharm, and why most of the population, most of the people still infected. You know, again, like it's not us say that, and it really the medical institute in Hong Kong University said that the Sinovac and the Sinopharm vaccine compared to the Pfizer or Moderna, it about 10 times protection different. You know, so that's why in Cambodia they still are infected. And again, when they receive 30,000 dose from Moderna, from AstraZeneca, and they vaccine most of the highly the rich people or the corrupted people. You know, I know somebody that pay money to get the AstraZeneca people. So most of the poor people vaccinate using the Sinovac and Sinopharm. And again, like you said, in Indonesia, they found out that about 500 doctors that work in healthcare system or died because of the COVID, because of the vaccination using the Sinovac, Sinopharm, and Sinovac. So I believe all the proof show that these 2 vaccines had not been passed through all the tests, and Chinese try to release that because they want to give some country, some dictator country or some best friend country to use that without any trial test. You know, that is the result of what we have right now. So it's sad, but I believe Hun Sen should accept the reality. You know, so I hope. One day this thing need to prove that this vaccine is still infected, and many news talk about that, but one day the Chinese government will accept that, I believe.
Yes, thank you, Lukpu. Brittany, 54% of Cambodians being vaccinated, but the rate doesn't go down. Any input?
I question the numbers there, the 54%, considering we've seen a steady incline of people who are contracting the virus, and unfortunately a steady incline of people that are dying from the virus. And I had someone very close to me pass away from coronavirus in Cambodia after she already received the first vaccine, which is very unfortunate, but it's happening more and more. And I question the leadership, the so-called leadership that takes one vaccine to protect themselves and then allows their citizens, their people in their country, to take another vaccine which has much lower efficacy rates. And I mean, everyone deserves access to the very best vaccine that is available and that the leaders are taking. Yeah, that's what I think.
At least now, since what, four other Asia country stop using the Chinese vaccine, the regime should at least investigate and say, you know what, we're gonna put a pause and we're gonna order something out. But instead, it's like every day is like their campaign is to vaccinate people with Sinovac and Sinopharm. And I think from last night, it's like he also got a deal for more vaccine from China coming into Cambodia, and there is no stopping, and there's no say, hey, let's see what's going on. Why is our citizen every day the infection rate and the death rate is going up? So they clearly show the lack of solution and the lack of knowledge to solve this the death rate.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Lupu, and thank you, Brittany. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to add what Puth said. The people that are dying are not the wealthy, corrupt leaders, right? They're the people that many of them are poor. They have less resources or less power, right, in the country. So the government is not focused on that population as they never have been.
Thank you, Brittany.
I just want to add one sentence, Linda. I believe it more than what I try to say here. It means that it's not just try to tell the reality to the people, but really force the people to vaccinate. If you don't vaccinate, you cannot go to work. Okay, and more than that, all the people that work in military, soldier, as work for government, they need to vaccinate without even they claim that they have some sickness in their life. They have to vaccinate, like they push people to die, and they cannot say anything more. That the most sad. They cannot say that the vaccine Sinopharm is not efficacy. The efficacy is not good. You cannot do this. You cannot. If you say that, they just go to arrest you at home. Put in a prison. How many people that try to say any comment on the Chinese vaccine, they just put in jail? It's just crazy. This regime. I don't know. Other country in Southeast Asia, they in Thailand, in Philippines, in any country, they able to criticize, and the people have a choice, either vaccinate the Chinese vaccine or vaccinate other, or waiting and to order vaccine. It just yeah. That another comment.
Thank you, Lupu. Yes, it's clearly, I forgot about that. I forgot that point that it's not by choice. Even though 54% of people vaccinate, that's not by choice. That's forced, and there's no freedom of expressions. If anybody would go out and say, I don't want to be vaccinated, or I don't believe in this, or I don't agree with this, they be thrown in jail if they say something like that. And thank you for bringing that up. I completely forgotten that 54% of the higher rate of 54% of vaccination citizen is not by choice, is by force. Before I go to the next, since we spend so much time on current event, let me go do a short clip of the next current event, and we're going to talk about this. Let me share the screen.
នឹងការសាកសួរទៅមានផ្នែកមួយចិត្តរបស់ក្មេងដល់ក៏ប្រយុទ្ធប៉ុន្តែគាត់មានអីអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំមិនដឹងថាច្បាប់អីមកណាពីណាមកពីថាមិនឲ្យបណ្ដាយនៅអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំអង្គុយរងចាំកូនខ្ញុំតាំងពីម៉ោងទី10កន្លះដល់ស្ប៉ាន់ហ្នឹងទៅឃើញមកកូនមិញឃើញទាំងដៃចុកនោះឃើញនៅក្នុងឡានទៀតខ្ញុំថាទំនើគឺអនុស្សាវរីយ៍ផុតហើយព្រោះជាម្ដាយគ្រប់រូបតែចង់ឃើញកូនតែនៅចង់ចិត្តកូនខ្ញុំអត់ក៏បញ្យុស្ទេខ្ញុំមិនល្អហើយគួរតែឲ្យគ្នានៅចិត្តខ្ញុំនៅចិត្តគាត់ដើម្បីសាកសួរទៅឲ្យគាត់មានគេហៅថាកុំឲ្យមានការផិតភ័យដល់ពេលគាត់នៅម្នាក់ឯងសួរគាត់មិនដឹងថាពាក្យសួរនឹងមានន័យយ៉ាងណាគឺសម្រាប់គាត់យ៉ាងម៉េចយ៉ាងទៅខ្ញុំមិនបានដឹងដែរអញ្ចឹងបើសិនមានម្ដាយនៅចិត្តគឺអាភាពគាត់គឺឯកថាមិនតក់ស្លុតឬគាត់ក៏មានការភ័យខ្លាចដល់ពេលអញ្ចឹងទៅវាអាចបណ្ដាលឲ្យកូនខ្ញុំគាត់តែភ័យគាត់អាចឆ្អែតទៅលើនឹងទៀតបាទដល់យើងអូយើងគាត់ឲ្យលះខានអូយើងគាត់ឲ្យអ្នកនយោបាយអូយើងគាត់ឲ្យលោកខ្ញុំអូយើងគាត់ឲ្យបណ្ដា
She is talking about her son. Her son name is Katsuwanchai. He is 16 years old. He has special need. He is being he basically brought back from Presa. He is facing charge of inciting social unrest and insulting public official. And the court, the regime court, refused to let her see him. She is begging because he has autism. And he need, like I said, special needs. So he was arrested at his home on June 24th. Like I said, accusing him of using provocative words and insulting government leader on social media. National and international organizations include major democracy. They're asking for the release of him to be released. And you notice at the end that is what we call Friday wife or Friday woman. Every Friday they out there in front of the court protesting the release of their husband and father who thrown in jail. And like Brittany said earlier, more than 80 people, political, social, and environmental activists have been arrested and imprisoned since the end of 2019. And most of them are charged on incitement and conspiracy to overthrow the regime. I don't have a picture of him. He is 16 years old. He is in jail in one of the famous jail called Presa in Cambodia, and they brought him to question because he's accused of provocative words and insulting government on social media. Arresting of 16 years old, how scared is the regime, Brittany?
It's very impressive that they would be intimidated by a young boy and the women that are there every week. I think it shows you how fragile the regime is to be so afraid of anyone who stands up and has a voice against them.
Thank you, Brittany. How do you feel when you see that when you see that she's chasing up to the van for her son, and at the end also with the Friday woman, they just using their freedom of speech, holding the sign, want the release in front of the court, and that's every single Friday. They got beaten, they got pushed, they got pulled, and they got bruises.
Yeah, in fact, I believe the lady that we saw in the video is named Promchanta. Her husband also was arrested at the end of 2019. You know, her husband is a teacher. In fact, many activists, many opposition activists or teacher, or many of them are teacher. And the boy, 16 years old, in fact, is the second time that the arrest put in jail, you know. And the first time, I believe, a few months ago, because the guy go into the opposition party office, the old office before. They just pick up some flag of the opposition flag, and they accuse them as the same way that accused. So the boy was jailed one time and released, and now it jail another time. It doesn't make sense for me. It just you cannot say anything. Even the boy 15 years old, you cannot criticize anything. And he, more than that, he is what I call the autism. And it's sad, but I don't know how. Yeah, it really difficult to say anything. Yeah.
Yeah, the way they treat the Friday woman every single Friday, that's just inhumane. And what I read, like the national and international organization, including major democratic countries, have repeatedly condemned the detentions because they consider it's baseless and political motivated, and have demanded their immediate release our prison. And that's all the women. Every Friday, the woman and the daughter, they asking for their release. And I believe I'll talk about that next week as well, because the news came out either yesterday, saying that it's their job, somebody paying them to protest. I mean, if my husband and my father in jail, I don't think any amount of money will stop me from protest or any amount of money. But I mean, I want them to be home, so I would be protesting out there. You don't have to pay me to go protest. That's just part of the family to protect each other, and that's just a baseless. And like she said, like the mother said, it's inhumane to put her 16 years old with special need. He's autism, and he's scared and don't know what's going on. So that's the current event for this week. I just picked 3, but there's many more that we can talk about. And thank you, Brittany, and thank you, Lukpu, for chiming in on the current event of this week. Let's get into our topic. Our topic for today is G7, Build Back Better World, which is called B3W, and we will compare B3W versus China BRI. That's a lot of acronym to talk about. Let me put a picture up, so that way when you see the picture, you probably seen this a couple of weeks ago. This is what we call G7, and it is so G7 consists of Italy, Japan, USA, European, Germany, France, Canada, UK. So that's 8 countries that they are that we are talking about. So those G7 recently announced the Build Back Better World Partnership. It's a commitment to invest up to 40 trillion for infrastructure in low and middle income country that affected by COVID-19 crisis. The B3W, which is Build Better World, Build Back Better World, is the pitch as a challenge to China Belt and Road Initiative, and the key part of the U.S. to encounter China and the growing global influence. Lukpu, since you probably know more about the world business and this G7 announcement. Can you help to explain what is B3W?
Yes, thank you very much. Give me the opportunity to discuss this subject. I believe it's very good subject because I tell you the truth, in the world it's not fair. The whole world is not fair at all. Why the last 10-15 years the whole world closed the eye, leave Chinese Communist Party led by Mr. Xi Jinping do anything he wants, and it's sad, but anyway. Now this like you said, the B3W, the Build Back Better World, is initiative of the United States government Mr. Biden, and this project is really ambitious project. It really big giant project. Yeah, they announced on 12 June during the G7 summit. They talk about this project, and this project, yeah, you said it a lot of money. It's 40 plus trillion dollar. 40 plus trillion dollar. Don't forget the GDP for the whole G7 country per year, GDP per year, it only 34 trillion. It's 34 trillion, Now you imagine this project alone is 40 trillion plus, This project, I believe in fact, it's a continue of another project called Blue Dot Network. Blue Dot Network is initiative also of United States of America, and back to beginning of 2020. Okay, they talk about Blue Dot Network. It really the project infrastructure and plus. In fact, it's not just infrastructure. We call infrastructure plus to help the underdevelopment and developed country in Asia or in Africa. The main sentence, the main point of this project, I tell you, you need to take this word because it completely different from Belt Road Initiative of China project. Okay, they talk about environment, climate, labor safeguard, transparency, and anti-corruption. So along with this project, the keyword that I talk about is very, very important, compared to the BOI that we will talk the comparison later on. But this project is really to help the development and undeveloped country to get a better world. A better world means it's not just infrastructure. You need to talk about the telecom, you talk about the climate change, So everything and more than that is safeguard. It labor safeguard. That if you take one word per word to analyze, it really a lot of meaningful, Labor safeguard. Safeguard is that keep job local, keep your local, be completely different from BOI. That again, we will talk later on, and about the transparency and anti-corruption, So this project, again, completely different, opposite of what the BOI. Sorry, I just tried to talk again BOI. Anyway, we will talk later on. But this project is really a big one that announced by United States and support. In fact, initiated by the President Biden, but it's all the G7 or supported. And in fact, about 70 other countries also support when they announced the Blue Dot Network project. So it's really a big program that I believe it can help the development and underdevelopment country to get a better world. It's not just infrastructure, but invest to keep the world safe, the world safe. Yeah.
Thank you.
Up there from that for now. Yeah.
Thank you, Lukpu. Brittany, you want to add anything Lukpu might miss regarding the B3W Build Back Better World? Did he miss anything?
I think he covered it pretty perfectly. I also want to echo the importance of when we're thinking about who to take money from, who to take aid money from, or to borrow from, or any sort of a agreement between countries. The thing that I think is important to consider is the transparency there between the countries. And some countries, they give aid money or they loan money with more strings attached and more accountability and more focus and pressure to have better human right conditions in Cambodia and in other countries. So I think those are two important things: transparency and to improve the human rights of the country.
Yeah, thank you, Brittany. Yes, the main focus, like Apu already said it, is climate, health, digital technology, gender equity, and gender equality. The first word in that focus is climate. Climate. So I'm talking about environment. They focus on environment, environment control, environment, helping the environment, how, and that's why you are watching the environmental video today. Let me see, and like I said, there's the US, British, France, Canada, Germany, Italy, and Japan. They are considered the G7, and it was it happened on June 11 to June 13 in the Cornwall Seaside Resort in the UK. So, and they actually all of them are endorsed. I think is US proposed it infrastructure plan to rival BRI. What is the benefit of BRI for Cambodia, Lukpu? Can you help when we're talking about this topic?
Before talking in
Not
Cambodia,
BRI, B3W.
Before talking the advantage of Cambodia or Southeast Asia, I want to add another point very important. The key of this project, they talk about private sector, private sector. So they will push, they will help by private sector. So it again, compared to the BRI, it a public, it's a communist party, it completely different. So the security, everything is private sector. You can criticize, you can do anything you want. If you say that project is not good or it's not quality, you can criticize. It's not like the another pro of the BRI. About Cambodia and also Southeast Asia, I believe today it's very difficult to talking only Cambodia. We know that Cambodia is the key region of China. We know that everything that China held to Cambodia so far, even build some military airport or military port for the boat, for so everything it now it becoming dangerous because of the Cambodia is 100% supported by Chinese, and only one that Cambodia leader want to support, want to do to make a friend, But if you talk about the Southeast Asia, I believe it really a big project. As you know that Southeast Asia among 10 countries is the most developed region in the world after European, after the United States or Canada, So Southeast Asia is second developed zone in the world. It's after, like I said, after the European or G7 country, or you call or G20 country, also you can call that, So Southeast Asia is important because the business that G7 do with Southeast Asia, it very important also. So this project becoming very important for Southeast Asia. And Cambodia, for Cambodia only, I believe it depends, because right now we know that you cannot separate the Hun Sen, Prime Minister of Cambodia, from China. Impossible to do that, At least one day they will wake up or they see something that they will disconnect from China. But right now, so far, and as long as this Mr. Hun Sen still the leader of Cambodia, it's very hard for this B3W. It will be hard that Cambodia will join this project, because China is again it really the best friend of the China, and a lot of decision is made by China because to keep the power for Mr. Hun Sen, they need China regime to support. So
can I interrupt you? Look, Puth. Why does the regime need China? What does the regime benefit from China?
Yeah, because China, as you know, it's a communist country, okay, and we never know even the rich people in China. Recently, the last 3-4 months, you never know. Sometimes the guy Jack Ma becoming very very rich, they can criticize something, they just flip Jack Ma down. So communist is communist, and Cambodia cannot disconnect from China because China back up this regime. They right now it's 100% military from China, and even the debt all the infrastructure project is all everything from China, and only one from China. The same thing like the vaccine, everything it really the best friend. Even the history show that China is dangerous for Cambodia. China, like I said before, killed 2 million people because of China. But sadly, in history, Cambodian leader, in order to keep the power, they will make best friend with China. Yeah.
Besides military, what else did China give to Cambodia? What did China give? I mean, they build road, they build a lot of infrastructures in Cambodia, but is that free from China?
No, for sure, no. But more than that, is there no transparency? The debt that they borrow from China, there are no purpose say that how much, and with interest rate, and to do that project, how many engineers that used by China, how many engineers that used in Cambodia, and more than that, I believe when we arrive to BOI, we will explore more why the poorest country, it's very sad what China invests in the poor country like China, like Cambodia, like Laos, or some certain country in Africa. So again, for sure, the infrastructure, the debt from China that we don't know how many million go in the table, go to the leader of the Cambodia, and to exchange that, they give a lot of land, they give a lot of forest to do what they want. I don't know what it called in English, they give a contract for 99 years, for 50 years, or whatever, so that is come along. As you know, the casino in CNRPO, or the port in Riem, or the airport in CNRPO also, it everything in China, but for them, it really a military base, and the satellite already show, and many news talk about that a lot of evidence to show the world that Cambodia is really what I can say it. I don't know English word, so sorry. It really the option of the Chinese,
Let have Brittany help. Brittany,
yes.
the regime is leaning toward China. What does Cambodia benefit from leaning toward China? What have we seen lately? They came in, they helped build beautiful, a lot of building. I'm not sure it's called beautiful, but big building. And you always hear the regime, it's no string attached. That's what they keep saying. Can you help? Like, why is it that the regime keep leaning toward China?
Yeah, good question. And as we saw a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about the environmental degradation of Sihanoukville, with all of the Chinese casinos and hotels along the sea. So I think the regime is excited about that inflow of money with no strings attached, and a lot of money going into the corrupt officials' pockets. Whereas money from other countries has these strings attached, like this money must be used for healthcare, this money must be used for education, this money must be used to for poor families, right? There's that accountability that the money is used for something to support the people and to further the human rights of Cambodian people. Whereas the Chinese money, maybe you'll see the benefit quicker, right? But in the long term, that's something that I worry about. And I know that Malaysia has recently signed on and agreed to accept the funds from China, from the BRI. And I know initially, right now, right, they're seeing a lot of economic growth and a lot of things that you can just visually see that looks like progress. But something that might look like progress on the surface has very harmful effects for the people, especially for oppressed people and vulnerable people in communities.
Thank you, Brittany. That's what happened with deforestation. That's what happened with land grabbing. Those are the result of the what it called development, which is in Khmer is called Apiwat. So they are all over the country, and people are losing their land, and in the forest deforestations, and those are not no string attached. You have them building condo in CNRPO, building all that building, but at the same time the forest is gone, and that is the string attachment. They keep saying that the regime keep proclaiming this money from their best friend China, no string attached, but at the same time the environment is deteriorating, and the land and the many family losing their land to the what they call development, which is the word is Apiwat. Thank you, Brittany. Look, Poo, have anything to add regarding the different the different than BRI, B3W?
I believe the B3W arrived in good time. I believe, the BRI it claim it started by announcement in Kazakhstan in 2013 by the President Xi Jinping, and this time I believe that project was announced. There are many poor countries, especially the dictator country, try to join because they know that with China they able to hiding how much it costs the project, and so they able to get the dirty money or corruption money. Compared to B3W, I believe arrive in good time because right now I believe all the poor country or development country can see so far what China give them from the BRI project, what is affected their country, concern the environment, concern the land eviction, concern many things, the B3W arrive on time because right now they try to map out. They have the money that that allocate for that project up to 2035. So they allocate the money, the budget, $40+ trillion up to 2035 for that. And for sure, between 2013 and a few years from now, the poor country or the development country can learn a lot from BRI, can learn a lot about democracy, can learn a lot about human rights, you know. So this B3W, I still believe it arrived in good time, and compared to 10 years ago, the people knowledge, the people resort, they know much better than 10 years ago, you know, talking about democracy, talking about the human rights. So I believe this country will support the B3W because the time is coming, and they learn from the BRI that again I talking about the land eviction, because you know I give example again, we mix up between the BRI again, because many projects in poor country, why China get the project, get the contract, why, and almost can get the cost cheaper? Why? Because China is still communist country. Their people don't have any right to say anything about government or anything about their company. Example, one company tried to invest in Cambodia and try to evict thousand and thousand family from the area they want to get the land, you know, and they don't give any fair change, you know. So they give you get that money or not, or zero, you know. So this project, if it managed by the company of the G7 in Canada or in United States, you know, they cannot do that, because if they evict people in Cambodia or evict people in Laos, the people in their country, in America, in Canada, they will manifest against the government, against the company. But in China, they cannot criticize their government. They cannot criticize the company. So that's why the BRI, up to now, it kind of successful for the poor country, for the corrupted country. But go back to the B3W arrive in time, because in 2 years, 3 years from now, compared to 2013, people have more knowledge on human rights, on freedom, and on democracy. Yeah.
Thank you, Lukpu. We're talking about B3W, which is they focus on climate change. Basically, they focus on the good thing, which is democracy and human rights respect. Now let me ask Brittany. The regime is not using that. Regime refused to comply with the EU. That's why the EBA is cut by 20%. What is the hope that the regime will will be on board with this 3W? We can, I mean, Lukpu and us can say how good B3W is, but if they are not on board with B3W, like the EBA, where it's 5.6 billion going into Cambodia, and the regime just kick it out, and now it's like 20% is gone, and going to be more gone if they don't respect democracy, they don't respect human rights. What do you think is the regime is going to be on board or not?
I don't think so, unfortunately, because their priority is not democracy and human rights and protecting the people of Cambodia. Their priority is to gain more power, to gain money quickly, to gain money in a way that is not transparent, and to gain money that doesn't have those strings attached that perhaps the B3W money would and has in the past. So I don't have a lot of hope about the situation, but hopefully something better can happen.
Yes, I am hopeful. Like recently, the the U.S. Government is pulling the money from the 6 students that study in America. So basically, they are tightening and also pulling over $100 million from the Prey Lung project. So they are putting pressure on the regime, and the money is pulling out. So like the Puth said, it's coming at the right time regarding democracy, regarding human rights. So if the U.S. government is putting more pressure into the regime, hopefully they turn and say, hey, we're gonna work with the G7, so that way, if you tie their neck long enough, they would have no money coming in. But as long as China is willing to support, and I guess this is the question would be like the B3W and the BRI, it's competing against each other. So if you're talking about market space, it's getting tighter. Not China doesn't have a market of all the country anymore. Now the G7 is coming in. So so hopefully that will help the situation where the B3W will be able to benefit country like Cambodia.
Yeah, I still believe in 2-3 years from now, because now I believe China is right. You know, economy or the company or trade, anything it arrive to the peak will go down. You know, will go down. Especially the China use we saw what happened in Japan. You know, arrive to the peak, they fall. The same thing like China, because China, I'm pretty sure in 5 years now will be go down. I'm pretty sure, because China, the problem with China, they don't have any immigration. Okay, they don't have any knowledge that like in America, like in Canada, or some country in Europe. You know, a lot of technical people come to the country and have PhD degree. You know, check just the 4-5 big company in United States. You know, it has been built by immigration, and them, they are very strong. They want to see their children to benefit the human right, the democracy. So in China, who want to live in China? Okay, aside from China themselves, even China themselves, most of them, when they went outside to get the school degree, many of them don't go back. The same thing like Cambodia. You know, some of them, they go back because they know that they have some position waiting for them. You know, but China will hit the wall, you know, because 25% of the population right now is 62 years old. Is 62 years old and more. So the same thing like Japanese 10 years ago. So I believe in 2-3 years from now, maybe the China will go down, and Cambodia will change the Hun Sen regime, or we never know what happened in the future. But everything is possible. But I believe the B3W program will be good for the third world country, for the underdevelopment and development country, especially in Southeast Asia, in Africa. Yeah.
Thank you, Lukpu. Yes, I totally agree. I totally see the benefit of B3W for Cambodia, and I know Brittany see the benefit as well. And I think my last question would be, I guess, for Lukpu. BRI is very successful for China. They go into many different countries. They basically take the natural resources and they do not demand democracy. They do not demand human rights. So that's very successful for China. What can B3W do better than BRI?
Like, I think that it go. I'm sorry, it's for me or for Brittany?
Oh, for you, you can answer.
Okay,
you can.
Okay. Like I said, the B3W arrived on time. In 2-3 years from now, many countries, people in the poor country with all the social media, they know what is democracy, what is freedom of expression. What is human rights? As you can see in Burma or in Myanmar, how the people not afraid to die, even they know that somebody will kill them, the soldier will kill them, because they with a few years under Aung San Suu Kyi, they know they tested democracy, they tested human rights, they test. So they many young generation are not afraid to die, So the same thing for me in a few years from now, many countries like Cambodia in Africa or many countries, I believe that I saw one of the video they talk about the Commission of African country, they talk about many countries now start to protest against China, because when China build the railroad from in Kenya or in some other country, the leader never show the paper how much it costs, how many people that use that work from local people or and it's not just in Kenya, in Africa, even Laos, Laos, I tell you, it even worse than Cambodia. What they said, I learned from the one of the conference. They said that in Laos, they build the railway, and 200 meters from the railway, it belongs to Chinese government, and Chinese government it distribute to the Chinese people that go there, and even in Cambodia, many people that come to build the road or build the building or build the airport, whatever, most of them come from China and come from jail, There are some criminals stay in jail, and China can do anything they want because the jail is very hot, so they give the choice of the people in jail. You continue in jail or you go to Cambodia to work in Cambodia. So that criminal went to Cambodia, went to Laos, or went to other country in Africa. They do as a worker. And with project with China, they have no agreement, said that how many engineer local they will use, how many employees they will use, how many percentage. They never say anything. So everything is secret. So many activists even in Africa, it raised the voice, try to against the government. And I am pretty sure with the campaign of B3W and with the media, social media, this project will go ahead in 2-3 years, will be success. And BRI, I believe the people start to open the eye. They will wake up the people in the country, in the poor country. Yeah.
Thank you, Lukpu. It's true. Even though we said that B3W might not be able to get into Cambodia, but you brought a very strong point that the citizen inside Cambodia need to speak up that BRI, which is brought by China, it's not beneficial for the country, and in order for EBA to be back, in order to 3BW to come in, the people inside need to speak up and need to say what's wrong with that, and need to realize that there's really damaging in environmental, and B3W is helping the environmental. Brittany, do you have any last word regarding this? I know we are hopeful that the regime will take the B3W, will work with B3W, and also will work with EBA, because those are money that benefit Cambodian inside the country, that benefit their stomach, benefit their family.
Right. Yes. I would just add from my personal experience when I lived in Cambodia and traveled in different provinces and throughout the countryside, I would see the development of a new road or a bridge, and there would be a sign, or the people that I was with, they would tell me, oh, that money that came from China, it's not good quality, right? Like, we're worried about that in our village, in our area. But this other one from Japan, or this hospital by the United States, or this school by the United States, is very good quality. And even I can see with my own eyes the quality difference between the infrastructure that is built from China and the infrastructure that is built from the G7 countries is noticeable, not just to my eye, but to, of course, to the people that are living there and who are dependent on those roads and those bridges and those schools.
Thank you, Brittany, and thank you, Lukpu, for being here today. We are at the end of our program, and we have a really good discussions on B3W versus BRI, and all of us have very hopeful that in, like Lukpu said, 2 to 3 years, the road, the climate, the environmental, everything will be in Cambodia's based built by G7, which consists of US, British, France, Canada, Germany, Italy, and Japan. And Brittany also brought up the good point. I do agree with you when you are in Cambodia, the road is totally different between the no string attached road from China versus the road or the bridge from Japan. It's totally different. Look like you want to say something.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I want to add something, but continue.
No, we are at the end of our show, and thank you for our discussion, and thank you, Lukpu, for bringing up the topic. I and Brittany probably learned a lot today, and we did some research, and we learned so much about what is build back better world, and we really behind the slogan, we want to build back better world in Cambodia. I'm going to end my show by playing the same song that I started regarding environmentalists. And we all want the regime to release the environmentalists from prison and also release the CNRP political prisoner in prison, because it's bogus charges and it needs to be dropped. Thank you, and thank you, Brittany, and thank you, Lukpu, for being here today. And I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, our audience, for being here today. I appreciate that you here. Our show is at the end. We did a really great discussion on Build Back Better World, which is a proposal it's endorsed by the U.S. government, and it's also signed by 6 other countries. And we are hopeful. In a couple years, B3W will be Build Back Better World in Cambodia, which is the focus is on climate, health, digital technology, gender equity, and equality, and that is focused on human rights and focus on democracy, and we really hopeful. So I hope you have a great day or a great evening today, and I see you next Tuesday.
ស្រុកខ្មែរចំឡាច់ទឹកភ្នែកគ្មានស្រានយុវជនបាំងរិងខានចៅក្រមបំពេញចាប់គ្មានកំហុសលះបងក្រុមយ៉ាងញញឹមទូលកោងទូខ្សែដើម្បីខ្មែររុងវិងរាំងភៀមខ្ពស់ព្រួងស្នេហ៍ធម្មជាតិទឹកភ្នែកហូរច្រែក យំយេរាល់ថ្ងៃយុទ្ធធរក៏ឆ្ងាយចៅក្រមចងរាយខ្លាយសេកចៅមសៀតយកខ្មៅជាសបងក៏អង្គវិជ័យយុទ្ធធរក៏អស់មានន័យលបលន់ឆ្អែតទៅមិនខ្ចីជាតិបងអូឡាកាចាំងវិជ្ជាជីវៈអង្គសាំបាច់ជញាំងរុញខ្មែរឲ្យធ្លាក់ជ្រួងជ្រៅអនលងអង្គយុទ្ធទេធសង្ឃុំលិចលងរួងតែចៅក្រមអាយ៉ងរបបយងក្នុងតឡាការឆ្ពិនភ្នែកសន្តិភាពលបឡាខ្ញុំគេខ្លែងខ្លាយធ្វើតាមចៅវាយដងវាយថ្វាយស្ទុំសោកសងទាំងចែកចាប់ខ្មែរស្នេហ៍ជាតិក្លៀតម៉ែឪញាតចោតថាបងក៏ឧបភានយុវជនស្នេហ៍ជាតិថែប៉ាំងរៀងឋាន
ជាបរិយានេះខ្ញុំថាបងប្រមោកឬក៏បងផ្សេងៗគឺនឹងទៅបានមុខបន្តហើយយើងថាអាចsẽដល់ពីគាត់ទុកពីគាត់តាមទៅជាទៅពីអីខ្ញុំប្រាប់លីឡែកហ្នឹងពីមុនដែរខ្ញុំប្រាប់នៅបងគាត់នៅក្នុងពេលនេះមានជាលុបហ្នឹងហើយក៏គេនិយាយមកគ្នាដែរបងគេនិយាយថាលុបតិចទេថាពីទុកឲ្យពីបងទៅតែយើងទៅបោចង់ឲ្យលុបអស់ហ្នឹងខ្ញុំថាវិញតែគឺថាអាចរក្សា
សន្តិភាពលបឡាខ្ញុំគេខ្លែងខ្លាយធ្វើតាមចៅវាយដងវាយថ្វាយស្ទុំសោកសងទាំងចែកចាប់ខ្មែរស្នេហ៍ជាតិឃ្លាតម៉ែឪញាតចោតថាបងក៏ឧបភានយុវជនស្នេហ៍ជាតិខែប៉ាំងរៀងឋាន